Alana Green clutched her tip money like a lifeline, unaware that her life was about to be stolen from her. The night air was crisp as Alana walked home, her legs aching from an 8-hour shift at Rose's Diner. She counted her tips, $79.87. Not enough to cover all her college application fees, but closer than she had been yesterday. Howard University was her dream, and she was determined to get there. Her worn denim jacket barely shielded her from the cold, but the weight of her chemistry textbook in her backpack reminded her of why she was pushing herself so hard. As she walked along Juniper Street, the dim glow of streetlights cast long shadows. Then, the low hum of a police cruiser pulled her attention to her left. Alana's stomach twisted, but she kept walking. Just a routine patrol. She reassured herself, but the car didn't pass her. Instead, it slowed to a crawl behind her. Then red and blue lights exploded to life. Hands where we can see them. Get on the ground now. A voice barked through the cruiser's loudspeaker. Little did Alana know, her life was about to be ripped apart. One moment, she was a hard-working teenager. The next, she was a suspect in a crime she didn't commit. Alana barely had time to react before two officers rushed at her, guns drawn. "Wait, what's happening?" she stammered, her heart hammering. Officer Grant Reynolds, a stocky man with cold, unblinking eyes, grabbed her arm and slammed her onto the hood of the cruiser. The metal burned against her cheek as he yanked her hands behind her back. "You match the description of an armed carjacker," Reynolds growled, snapping cuffs around her wrists. "No, I was at work all night. Check the cameras. My manager." Her words were drowned out by the roar of injustice. Her backpack was torn away, its contents spilling onto the pavement. Her chemistry notes, her tip money, a tube of cherry lip balm. A second officer, Marcus Hayes, hesitated. His expression showed doubt, but he said nothing. Alana's breath came in sharp gasps. How could this be happening? Bystanders pulled out their phones, filming the ordeal, but no one stepped forward. As she was shoved into the back of the police car, her world shrank to the cold, suffocating metal cage around her. Alana thought she would get a fair trial. She was wrong. The police station reeked of stale coffee and despair. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, Alana was fingerprinted, photographed, and thrown into a cold holding cell. "Can I make a phone call?" she asked the guard at shift change. "You'll get one eventually," he sneered. Hours blurred into eternity until a public defender, Gavin Pierce, arrived. He barely looked at her. "We need to prepare for your hearing." "I'm innocent. I was at work," she pleaded. "We'll talk strategy later." He barely listened. The next morning, Alana stood in court, still in her grease-stained diner uniform. Judge Raymond Caldwell sat at the bench, his silver hair gleaming under the courtroom lights. His eyes were hard, uninterested in justice. The prosecutor painted Alana as a violent criminal, twisting facts to fit a lie. When Pierce tried to request surveillance footage from Rose's Diner, Caldwell cut him off. The victim identified the defendant. The judge ruled, "The evidence is clear." Alana's breath caught. "No, please." Bang. His gavel came down like a hammer of doom. 5 years in juvenile detention. Her mother's scream filled the courtroom as Alana was dragged away. Mia Green wasn't just a little sister. She was a secret weapon. Mia's hands shook as she pulled out her phone. Her mother, Deidre, was sobbing. But Mia had a plan. She dialed. "Daddy," her voice trembled. They took Alana. Silence. Then, the voice of the most powerful man in the country. "I'm on my way." Within the hour, the courtroom doors slammed open. Julian Green, U.S. Attorney General, had arrived. The entire courtroom fell silent. Judge Caldwell paled. "Release my daughter," Julian commanded. Caldwell scoffed, regaining his composure. "Your position holds no authority here." Julian stepped forward, his presence crackling like a thunderstorm. "Then you won't mind if I give this case my personal attention." Caldwell's confidence wavered. He had just made a powerful enemy. Julian Green knew something was wrong. What he uncovered was far worse. Julian's legal team worked through the night, but every path was blocked. Surveillance footage vanished. Time card records went missing. Witnesses refused to talk. Something bigger was at play. Then, an investigative journalist, Maya Sterling, called Julian with a tip. "You're not just fighting for Alana," she warned. "You're up against a system that profits off black kids being locked away." Julian's stomach dropped. Caldwell wasn't just corrupt. He was running a pipeline to private juvenile detention centers, raking in money for every conviction. This wasn't about Alana alone. This was about hundreds of kids. And Julian Green was about to burn it all down. Juvenile detention wasn't just a prison. It was a battlefield. Alana's arrival at Green Ridge Juvenile Detention Center was met with cold stares and an even colder reality. The walls were gray, the air heavy with hopelessness. Guards barely acknowledged her as they shoved her into a cramped cell with peeling paint and a stiff cot. "Welcome to hell, newbie," a voice drawled from the top bunk. Alana looked up to see a girl with sharp eyes and braided hair, her arms crossed. "I'm Sasha King," she said, "and if you want to survive in here, you better learn fast." Alana wanted to scream that she didn't belong here, but she had seen the look in the guard's eyes. Nobody cared. Her first night, a tray of food was knocked from her hands. A girl twice her size smirked. Oops. She clenched her fist but remembered Sasha's warning. You don't fight unless you have to. Alana wasn't just fighting for herself. She had to make it out alive. Julian had spent his life upholding the law. But what if the law was broken? Julian sat in his office, reviewing file after file. Dozens of cases. All black and brown teens. All convicted by Caldwell with barely any evidence. A document was placed on his desk. Bank transfers. Millions of dollars flowing into offshore accounts linked to the judge. Julian's jaw tightened. Caldwell wasn't just corrupt. He was selling kids for profit. Mia burst into the office. "Dad, we have to go public." Julian hesitated. Then he thought of Alana, of every kid still behind bars. He picked up his phone. "Call Maya Sterling. We expose this now." The city was waking up, and it was angry. Maya Sterling's article hit the internet like wildfire. Within hours, protests erupted outside the courthouse. Signs flashed under streetlights. Inside his office, Caldwell sneered at the television. "This won't last," he muttered. But then his phone rang. "Judge Caldwell." Julian Green's voice was steel. "Your time is up. When they can't break you with the system, they try to break your body." Alana had learned to keep her head down. But one night, that wasn't enough. A guard named Carter cornered her. "Daddy can't help you in here." Pain exploded as his baton slammed into her ribs. She crumpled, gasping. But Alana wasn't weak. She was furious. This had to end.